love to just have opinions on stuff. I don't, because I'm always like, well, I'm sorry for having an opinion, but at the same time, I can be very, very annoying with my own opinion. So there. That's how I roll. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel, and today we are going to be doing something that I never thought I was going to do, which is talking about a TV show in a booktube channel. Yes, you heard me correctly. So without further ado, these are my thoughts in or about the Shadow and Bone TV series season 1, and may the Netflix god hear us and give us season 2. Can we just cast Nikolai, please? So as you probably know, if you've been around someone from the book community, or if you are from the book community in this month of April, Shadow and Bone, the TV series adaptation of the same name books from Leigh Bardugo, has just hit the screens on the 23rd of April. And I watched it all in... We can say it was kind of one day, since I've watched it in one afternoon and then one morning, but let's just say 2 days for the sake of it. And it was glorious. I have some spoilery thoughts, but I wanted to start with saying what I enjoyed, and then I will go into things. But my non-spoilery thoughts in the beginning of this is that I absolutely love this series. Okay, so this is all. Bye everyone, this is the video, let's just roll. So, as you probably know, or if you don't know, I'm already disclaiming this, I have no business whatsoever talking about any sort of filming, cinematography, acting situations, because I am not in that type of media, that type of profession, so I have no idea. Well, I have some idea, but it's just from what I gathered from watching movies and seeing documentaries on stuff. But I have no idea how filming works. I have no idea on how to actually evaluate a TV series. So that's not what we're going to do here. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because I felt like it was really nice. I have talked with some people that have actually read the books as well as I have. And I think we can unanimously say that even when we have some not so great opinions and some specific plot points or some specific character development, we can all say in the fandom that it's kind of the first time that a TV show adaptation, or a movie adaptation for that matter, worked as great as the books. And yeah, I said that. Obviously, in my opinion, the books are a little bit better just because they are the original thing, and they have a development of characters that you cannot reach even with almost 8 hours of story, because you can't. It's, what, 300 and something pages, 400 pages of development? You can't do that, especially if you're mixing characters and plot points and narratives that weren't actually in the original novel. You cannot do that in such short time, because it is short time. It doesn't look like it, but it really, really is. And for that reason alone, it isn't perfect, and because of some screenwriting decisions and others, but it is really great. It is actually a TV show that I am really recommending to people that haven't read the books, because it's really great. It's really okay. It's a really good first presentation of what the Grishaverse is and why you should pick up the books, read it, love these characters, and just enjoy this fantasy series. Because at the end of the day, this is what it is for. It's for us to enjoy, to talk, for the fandom to grow bigger, and just for we to love this story and to love these characters. And wow, what a story, and wow, what characters. So my non-spoiler thoughts are that the casting is absolutely amazing. I think that every single one of the actors did this show right, these books right. They're just so incredible in their performances, even if some of the things happened or didn't happen exactly as they are portrayed, and I sometimes was a little bit, but what are you doing? But most of them, pretty much all of them, I could see the characters coming to life. Some of them with some differences that made me love them more, and some with some differences that didn't make me like them less. So it was fine. I really love all of the characters. I really love the settings. The settings are beautiful. I think that they filmed in Budapest, if I'm not wrong. And wow, it's beautiful. The clothing, the keftas, gorgeous. Everything is gorgeous. It is supposedly a low budget TV series from what I gather, from what it is supposed to be, the values of high and low budget, but at the same time is higher than the normal young adultish, darkish TV series that Netflix has been giving to us. And I think that they really put an effort into this to make it the next franchise and the next big thing, which thank you, because there's a lot of plot points and a lot of characters that I want to see adapted, especially Nikolai. I think we're all there for Nikolai. So please, if someone in Netflix is watching this, which probably aren't, but if you are, we want season 2, we the fans, or the royal we, as in myself, want season 2. So now very quickly for some of my spoiler thoughts on these, which I'm going to tell some of the things that I was a little bit lukewarm about in the series, but it wasn't anything extraordinary. So as I said, my thoughts is that I absolutely love this, that the characters are great, the actors are great, everything is great. And this is by far one of my most liked adaptation of a written word work. But yeah, if you haven't seen the series, it is definitely worth seeing, so don't watch the rest of the video since I don't want to spoil you, and I'll probably talk about stuff that you won't comprehend because you haven't read the books or watched the series. If you've read the books and you actually want to see this without watching the series, I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't advise because there's so many different things from the books, which is something that I enjoy because it's very rare that such a good adaptation can actually give you something new to hope for and to want to see, and some surprises, which we had those and they were awesome. So getting a little bit into spoilers, I have to say that I was so afraid of how they were going to put the Six of Crows characters between and intertwining with the Shadow and Bone characters. It was my dreadest fear of seeing this crumble because of the situation. However, I think it was beautifully done. Even though I'm a little bit sultry because Alina is only worth 1 million Kruger and Quay is worth like, what, 30 million Kruger or something? A living saint and a dude that knows how to do a drug. I mean, I know that the political reasons behind these can alter the situation, but I mean, 1 million? Couldn't it be like at least 10 million? I would feel better about that, but anyways, I really liked how they intertwined all of the situations of the crows, the dregs, actually meeting characters from Shadow and Bone, meeting Mal, meeting the Darkling. I'm sorry, I didn't know that I needed Kaz Brecker versus a Darkling because... And even though I have to say that Kaz wasn't his ruthless, complete self, I think that this will help make him the Kaz that we know in Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. And I know that he's a fairly polarized character, or polarizing character in the series, because everyone was waiting for him. Maybe not me particularly, because I really love Kaz, but he's not my favorite character in Six of Crows. There, I said it. My favorite character in Six of Crows is probably Nej. But I mean, I was very excited, and I understand why some people were saying that he's not as cruel as he's supposed to be because he's ruthless, he's aggressive. But I mean, some things you can't translate to television, and do not forget that we are not in the Six of Crows plots yet. So I think that the real Kaz shown in that church scene where he just picked up his cane and fucked up that dude, it was incredible. And I was like, yes, give him, we love it. But I am not going to talk about every single character in detail. I just want to say that I believe the actor's name is Kit Young, but Kit Young, who did Jasper, yeah, I don't know how to say that, but okay. He is the real deal. He's the real deal. I just look at him and said, this is a perfectly developed character came to light. I love this person. I laughed so much with all of his lines. I just love him. Inej is Inej. It's just, wow. All of the characters. I am so very happy that the showrunners decided they were going to actually portray Mal as a good person, because I am a person that I've always, and I know you're going to unsubscribe, but I've always shipped Alina and Mal because, first of all, she loves him, which, I mean, it helps. Second of all, I don't see where you people see that he was a terrible person to her, because I will never agree with that. I think he was a stupid teenager in the beginning, and then I think he sacrificed everything for her, and he was just worried that she was turning a power-hungry creature, which indeed she was, but of course, he should have trusted her to not let that affect her. But I mean, sometimes you fear that the people that you love are getting into something bigger than themselves and they can't see, and you're worried, and sometimes your worries don't get portrayed in the best light. But I think that Mal was always a character that was loving, that always wanted to sacrifice himself for Alina, and I always loved their dynamic. But I know that people hated him in the books, which, why? I mean, everyone gets to have their opinion, but I always loved him, and so I love that they're making their dynamic beautiful and lovable and the ultimate ODP. But then I have to say, I was always the person that said that Alina's relationship with the Darkling was the most toxic shit ever, and that I didn't want them to be together, but that I really would love them to bang, just for the simple reason that the sexual tension and the power-hungry tension that there's between those two people, wow, sparks. And episode 5, everyone. I mean, I love Ben Barnes as a Darkling. Loved it. I have never fan casted anyone in my life except for the Darkling, because I always thought that Ben Barnes was perfect for the part. And here we have it. He's perfect. I resent a little bit that the creators are trying to humanize him. I hated the backstory with that healer girl, Luda, or Barracuda, or whatever her name was, because what the fuck was that? First of all, he wasn't even interested in her that much, because he was like, oh no, you're killing her. And then he was like, well, fuck that, she's dead. Which, I mean, it's not like the Darkling never had women, because of course he had. He's ancient. He's like, what, 400 years old? Of course he had to bang sometime. I mean, with that face, my god. But even with that happening, that's not his major... He's kind of like Magneto, in a way, from the X-Men. Someone that wants to save this race of people because he believes that they are the superior beings and they are always being mistreated, and if they don't do something to grab power, they will never be understood. And that's what I want from him. And we got that, and I loved seeing the creation of the Fold. Like, I loved it, and just because of that, I forgave all of the entirety of the back plot of that shit, but that girl wasn't necessary. The tension and the plot point could have been made without that. And also, why did we have in episode 4 him telling Alina like it was the weather? Oh, please call me Alexander. And I was like, what? For those of you that are still here because you like being spoiled and you haven't read the books, his name is a plot point in Ruin and Rising, which is the 3rd book in the series. And what happens is we're talking about this man that has been running away from the king, that has been hiding himself because he was the one that created the Fold. He was always the one that was manipulating and scheming, and he was always the one that, since as a child, had to change his name over and over again, moving, never getting to know someone, never getting to actually live with someone as a person, a normal person, always on the run, people trying to kill him for his bones because he's a natural amplifier and is one of the most powerful Grecias in the world, his mother not calling him his name, him hiding behind the persona of the Darkling, because the Darkling is supposed to be a generation of individuals, which you find out it's not, it's just him, but it's supposed to be a generation of individuals, him faking his death, him doing bunch of stuff, and then he just goes and he fucking tells this girl that he only just met, and I know he's trying to seduce her for her powers, but he's going to blow up his entire cover just by fucking telling her his name like that. And not only her, but Mal knows his name as well, and probably other people know his name as well, because the way that he said his name was like, oh, by the way, it's raining, or by the way, it's sunny, and do you want a fucking umbrella? By the way, my name is Alexander. What? That was a part in that series. I was watching the series with my mother, who, by the way, my mother only has 3 things to say about that series. One is that Ben Barnes is fucking hot and that she loves him as an actor, that he has micro expressions that are incredible, which, yes. And that she would never choose Mal over the Darkling, which I'm trying to convince her that is toxic as hell, but she's like, I don't care. He's offering her the world. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's making her a slave to his will, because he wants the world for himself. And she's like, well, if she agrees. And I'm like, no, Mom, that's not how it works. But then she loves Nina and Matthias, which, I mean, we get that. We also love them. And she says that they're the major OTP, the best ship, and she doesn't want to see anyone else. And then she just has to say that it's an average fantasy series, which kind of hurt my heart. But, I mean, she's not wrong. I love it very much. Where was I actually going with this? I know. I was talking about my reaction to his name. So I stopped the series because I was watching it with her. I stopped it. I picked up a pillow and I just started screaming and banging that pillow into the sofa, and she looked at me. And she was like, are you mentally disturbed? What are you doing? The dude is just introducing. And I was trying to explain to her that he only tells Alina his name in the 3rd book. It's a plot point. It has to do with their intimacy. It has to do with someone that is power hungry, powerful, that is just, he's losing something in himself. He's just letting power consume him. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Alina doesn't know what she's doing anymore. Everything is just going to shit, and they have an intimacy share that she can share with anyone else, and he can share with anyone else, because they're one and the same. They're power hungry, but she's the light and he's the dark. And it has to do with plot points. And my mom was like, the dude is just introducing himself. Let him be. If he wants to tell him her name, he tells the name. And I was like... So something that hurts me is that I'm going to see people referring to the Darkling as, oh, that dude Alexander, and I'm going to die. But apart from that, we're fine with that. Also, I have to say that I love Genya and I would die for her, and the actress that they got to play Genya. Yes, it's everything that I've imagined. David is me if I was in a fantasy world. David was just living his life, reading in the car, and some bully opened the door and he was like, so how do I run away? I'm going to just throw this fucking book and run away. This is me in my life. I would never survive in a fantasy world because I would be David, throwing books at people and running the fuck away. He's just... And how he looks at Genya and she looks at him and they just avert their eyes because they're just the cutest little fucking things in the universe. I love them! I love them. And now I'm feeling the pain. Oh my god. Okay. I love everyone. But I love Milo the goat more than everyone because that goat... When we were watching the episode, and I had one of the best what the fuck is going on in this show moment when the conductor turned to the dregs and he was like, bitches, I need Gerda, I need coal, and I need a goat. And I was like, excuse? You need a what? You need a what? And Cass was like, I get the goat. And he paraded through a city with the goat. Flawless. And then inside of the train, when Jasper's like, I'm not going to throw the goat, and the conductor was like, the goat's for you, bitch. Hug the goat. You're not fine. Shut the fuck up. Milo the goat. Supporting the crows since 2021. We love it. We stand Milo the goat. So... I love the show. I had my qualms with it, sure. I have to say that in the final battle, I wish they would have done it more like the ending of the book and less like that all fist fighting brawls that happened. Because seeing the Darkling, who is supposed to be an all-powerful being, exchanging fists with Mal. I mean, dude, just cut him open. What are you doing? You have powers. I know you're in the fold, but why are you fist fighting a child? Fuck him up, please. But I have to say that I loved the collar, the antlers collar. Divine. That was such an abomination, and I loved how it felt like it was something wrong, something that shouldn't be done, because it was all out in her neck and it was so gothic creepy. I loved it. Loved it. Wow, it was amazing. I love that. I would cosplay that shit. It wouldn't be great because I don't have a lot of collarbones, just these, so it wouldn't be amazing too. But wow, that was gothic horror in its peak. And I also think it served to show the fact that the Darkling taking the beast's power when it was Alina's and trying to control her power was an abomination, was something wrong. And the fact that we got the lines, fine, make me your villain, and no mourners, no funerals on the same episode, divine, beautiful. These people knew what they were coming for. I loved it. I loved it. It was great. I had some qualms with some of the stuff, but overall, it was just great. So now that you've wasted 20 minutes of your time about a TV series, just hearing me talking about what I enjoyed and what I didn't, I am sorry that I did this to you, but I would love to hear your thoughts on the TV series. If you loved it, if you hated, what you thought about the cast, the characters, the settings, everything. What have you felt about it? And if you're waiting, as I am, for an amazing season 2 with Siege and Storm, because we would love to see it. So that's going to be it for me today, and happy readings to you all. Bye!